All right. So we are going to pick up where part of the party broke off last week. Um, Billy, do you want to recap up to that point, or would you like me to recap?
Yeah, I listened to it actually on the way here. I
Perfect.
feel like I have enough that can happen for uh, uh, we got off in a pod. A broadcast that was just sent to the nation, and it basically says there are a bunch of
You're
and
cutting
basically
out pretty
marketing
badly,
the
Billy.
party.
It may just be, unless Brad is he cutting out for you? It could just be me.
He's got the little like robotic
Gotcha.
no cutout
Hold on, let
here and
me
there.
check.
I can hear like 90% of him, but
I just don't want you down the line to think you said something and then you.
What about now?
Much better now. Much
Yeah.
better now.
that's
Okay.
great.
I think I just had it on very low volume, so maybe I'm too loud now, but who knows?
No, sounds good to me.
Cool. Yeah, so there was a broadcast that was put out, basically marking the ties, for lack of a better term, because we don't have a party name. And the town was deciding what to do with us. Long story short, Bracco went up, made a little speech, was just like, hey, listen, everything's not as it seems. Long story short, Beth spoke out, said, listen, these guys are idiots. There's no way they could be these, these devious people that Cerberus says that they are. So I went inside because a giant orb was cast into the sky, which Silgath recognized from a long time ago. And I'll try to summarize a little bit more, so we're not here for the next 15 minutes. So basically, everybody went inside, including Eleanor, Silgath, Warwick, into the barracks, as well as Beth, I believe. Basically hashed out a couple small plans. Vern fell asleep. There was a whole true-seeing process where Bracco was kind of collecting information. There was some diagnosis with Vern as far as him falling asleep. Like, why is he doing this? Is this magic? Somebody here doing this? Is this something the orb's doing in the sky? There's a lot of speculation. Meanwhile, there was some movement to the southern border, I believe southeast border of the city, which was brought up by Eleanor, between Eleanor and Silgath. Eleanor went to go check it out. Urzok tagged in, was just like, hey, listen, in case it is something, we shouldn't be alone. So those two went off together, which, if you didn't rewatch that episode, you absolutely need to see Urzak.
Like
and
it was like
Eleanor's
a week early for
conversation.
the Valentine's Day special, right?
Yeah,
A week early, yeah.
It was as soon as Eleanor started talking to Urzak, I was like, that's that's a vibe. I was like, man, there's something there.
I think I remember
Hilarious.
specifically like, you're old.
Yeah, it's like
You're
it was
old.
just like, hey, so like you're old, right? Like, just like fuck, got him. She wants that. She wants that Urzak dick. But anyways, I digress. So anyways, those two went off to go see what was the hustle and bustle. Seemed to think it was nothing big. So those two went off. Brackle and Teth destroyed a statue of a dragon of Vern's, which I feel a little bit, well, Teth feels a little bit bad about, but we're trying to determine if that was the source of why he just mysteriously became unconscious and fell asleep. In the end, they left Vern with Eric, and Warwick and the others that were left behind essentially in the city, while Brackle and Teth went to go investigate and catch up with Urzok and Eleanor. We need to make a ship name for them, by the way. As they were exiting, Belle came out, and eventually Beth as well. Belle had an idea as far as a way to dispel or destroy the orb in the sky that was currently marking the town. At least it seems like it was marking the town, or at least the general area maybe of those who were broadcasted. Maybe it's something completely different. Who knows? Essentially, the power of 2 orbs in a contraption will, in theory, destroy this orb above the city. Problem is, you need 2 orbs. Beth then said, hey, there's a power source down this way. Go to the power source. Said, okay, yes, ma'am. There was absolutely no back talk between Brackle and Beth. Did not occur. And I realized, as about the part I stopped, but I realized of all the people in this entire campaign or in Brackle's entire life, the one, his like arch nemesis in like a good way is Beth, like this 90-year-old woman, just constantly just like calling his shit, calling his bluff, just like, no, your pancakes suck.
She is the absolute foil to Bracklebaff. That is for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep. Foil, that's what I was looking for. So then after that, we went caught up, and there was a tender moment between Eleanor and Urzok. A connection of sorts. There was some, all jokes aside, Eleanor was, questioning Urzok, seemed a bit interested or could see some type of inflection. At least that's the way I perceive it. It's just, the eternal blade versus the eternal undeath, right? There might have been some connections there, or maybe Eleanor's just curious about Dragonborn. Who knows?
She wants to kill him, actually.
Yeah, she actually just wants to dissect him. No, there was a comment of sparring and such towards the end, and towards the end of that conversation, Teth and Brackle managed to catch up. Then there was some little sneaky just I would feel bad. I actually felt kind of bad attacking them at first. Little robots creeping around on the outskirts of the city. Then they pulled out a drill, and they were trying to drill into a wall. They say battle ensued, and the combat lasted probably all of about 20 seconds, and we vanquished what we could see from the time being anyways. There was also a conversation making communications with Dez, who was on the north side of the city, outside of the walls, correctly. I believe the Ascending Stone made contact with Dez, and during that communication, he also said that he was being attacked as well. I can't remember if he said that Flynn was with him or not. Maybe not on the initial message, but as soon as Dez initially said, hey, there's stuff here, it's not great, Brackle also sent a message to Warwick, I believe, just saying, hey, listen, we're here, Dez is here, you guys are about to get jumped to the north. So that's all I remember.
Yeah, that's...
Trying to remember if there was a gotcha at the end, but I can't remember.
I don't think so.
I think we just talked about the budding relationship between Eleanor and Urzok for like 25 minutes.
And the rolling of the dice for GM was abysmal.
Yeah, Barless rolled like absolute trash on both digital dice and not digital dice, I believe.
The whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like...
I don't know why. It's so bad.
I wonder if there's like day-to-day formulas or something where Roll20 knows the GM is rolling.
I wonder.
And it like fluctuates to like good rolls, bad rolls.
Maybe. Who
I don't know,
knows?
man. It was I felt bad. Felt
Comically
bad.
bad. Comically bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like it was one of those things where it's like I already felt bad about destroying those poor little baby robots, and then they were also rolling like complete garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, there was
Uh,
really not much that I could do at that point. Like halfway through the battle, I knew. Oh, hi,
yeah.
hi, buddy. Come here.
I was gonna ask. There was a time in the fight or the battle, and there
You
was
love it?
like a elvish incantation or something, where none of the party spoke
Yeah.
English.
Yeah, there was Elvish at some point. I'm trying to remember what it was.
I don't know, but I was like,
Go ahead, baby.
I'm elvish, but I guess I was back at.
Yeah. That was funny because you whenever I was with the
Oh, you had
computer
spell
and then
slots.
well, Barla said it, and then I went and checked. I was like, I know I don't speak Elvish, but then I thought about it, and I was like, dude, I bet Eric can speak Elvish, and of
Sure.
course he's back in the what you call it.
Yep.
Crap.
The barracks, and then the spell slot.
Yeah, Eric
too.
definitely speaks Elvish. I can't remember
For-
where that was. Was that Beth?
It was outside the city, I think. I thought. Oh no, maybe not.
I'll have to go back and look because I didn't write that down. That was a thing that I did in the moment, and sometimes I don't write those down.
I haven't heard it yet, and I'm still in the city, like halfway through. But it could have been before it was left.
Who knows?
But I was glad I had the spells that you guys needed
Oh, dude.
to spell magic and.
It
If
was.
Varus would have let us, you would have cast 18 spells.
I didn't take any of your spell slots either, Eric.
It's RP spells.
Yeah. Thank you.
Food is ordered.
Nice.
I think next long rest I want to try some different spells. Like, I think I tried Warding Wind once and didn't like it, but looking at it again, I might
Switch it up.
Yeah, bring it back and use it.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I searched, and then I saw something called Mold Earth for a cantrip, and I was wondering,
Mhm.
can you prepare, like, can you exchange, cantrips?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Preparing spells?
I don't know because I
That
never played
is
full
a good
casters.
question. I
don't know the answer to that.
I'm inclined to say no because they are very intentionally separate from the rest of the spell list.
Okay.
But I don't know. Let me actually hold on.
They're actually, I think you're right, Barlos, because I believe that they added in like additional features with Tasha's and some other stuff where you can actually swap out cantrips at certain levels.
Oh, okay.
So like at level 4,
Yeah.
you can swap out whatever. It also might differ, like maybe a wizard can, but then a cleric can't, right? Or something like that. I don't really know much about full casters.
Yeah, so everybody just check through a couple forums here. No, because cantrips, or when a druid prepares the day's spells, the spells must be of a level for which you have spell slots.
Yeah.
So we'll say no.
Just find a scroll or something else. Learn it another way.
All right, so we have Billy playing as Warwick today. Obviously, you are still playing as Eric. There we go. That's what I wanted to do.
See if this works. Pull up. Heck yeah. Well, that work's gonna make somebody a pancake, I feel like.
He's ready. So I thought about when I was making his weapon to include the possibility for bludgeoning damage because it is such a giant thing.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
So I think for now I don't have everything super ironed out for him, just because I got to a point and then I just decided to stop trying to force things because I was just like
I could
not being
see.
super creative. At a point I was pushing myself past where I should have gone. But I think for tonight, when you make attacks, Billy, just select slashing or bludgeoning damage. You can choose in the moment. So you can either swing it broadside or use the blade. And I am fine with either of those options.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to switch you over to the correct map here. We are in the barracks. Warwick, you know this room very well. This is where you spend a lot of your time when you are in the city. When you are not in the city, you are out either hunting for food for the city. Even though people don't like to. Oh, bye, Brad. Even though people don't need to eat, they do enjoy the novelty of consuming food. So sometimes you'll go out and hunt for game. Sometimes you'll just go out to do a sweep, make sure the traps are all still set. The wall is still in good condition. You'll do that with Eleanor sometimes. Sometimes Silgath will join you on those things. And then other times, very rarely, you will make longer trips, like across the Gulf. Put you over to the region map real quick. You'll make trips across the Gulf, either to Cassis or to Three Spears. More often Three Spears because it's a much shorter trip. To facilitate some small trade, you are the person that is in charge of doing that. As the head of the guard, you don't really have a lot of duties as far as activating the military in Mir, because you're so remote and people are not inclined to visit you. It's a lot of preparatory things and not a lot of active engagement. But that doesn't mean you still don't train yourself and your people daily, just in case. You are very vigilant about that. Back to barracks here. Just detailing a few of the things in case the overhead view doesn't do them justice. Starting from the top here, this is a weapon rack, and this is a weapon rack over here as well. You would be very familiar with the weapons that are on there. Up here, I have these in the GM layer. I'll put them on the map layer. These are lists of things that you have in these weapon racks. And
Good variety.
You would know that they are there. Right up here, this is the sparring ring. It is right up against the wall. The ceilings are about 15 feet high in here, so it's a pretty tall ceiling. And these are ropes on these three sides inside of the room. They go up about 4 feet, and it's one single rope fixed to posts right here on the corners. In the corner here, that is a fight dummy, either for swordplay or hand-to-hand combat. And there's an unused fight dummy over here in the corner. It is loose. It is not attached to the floor or any sticks or anything like that. It is able to be moved. Over here, these are targets. If you want to practice shooting crossbows or arrows or throwing axes or javelins, things like that. Two set targets over here. They are able to be moved with a successful athletics check. Warwick has pretty good strength, I believe. He has the giant belt, so I don't know that I would even have him check to move something like this, but a typical person would. This is a swordsman dummy. This is one of those things that like spins around and like hits you high and low. These are 4 bunks over here. These are just cots inside of the bunks. They do all have doors, like accordion doors that you can close, but they're not solid doors. You can break through them very easily, so they do not provide protection. And then down here is just kind of a meeting area, a couple tables, some benches over here, or stools or whatever. There is a large double door down at the very bottom. This is what Silgath and Eleanor have been locking and unlocking to let people out. And then there is a back door up to the north up here. And there are 3 windows. These are the windows. So there's one facing out this way towards the back, and then 2 to the east facing back into the town. And I think that is everything that you would need to know. It's a pretty basic room, but there are specific things that Warwick would know innately that other people might have to investigate or perceive to realize what's going on. We don't have Brad.
Yeah. So while we don't have Brad here, I really enjoy the idea of these cots being off to the side here. Somebody like, fainting and coming back to, and then they wake up and there's just like 2 big burly people just beating the shit out of each other, like sparring. Yeah. Or like right next to their head, you hear thunk, and just like a dagger sinks into the target, like 4 feet from them. Just like, ah!
Oh god.
Oh, what happened?
The army is small but mighty in Mir. So the people that would be training here are all very comfortable with each other. So if anything is gonna like fly stray into one of those bunks, it's gonna be on purpose. Just like fuck with each other.
I imagine. Yeah, I imagine. Let's see, 5 minutes. Just work it out. Be coming back. Okay. I imagine it's the equivalent of, like, let's theoretically say the party. We're gonna settle down and just create a town, right? I imagine it's the equivalent of like, hey, there's a handful of people, but they have a ton of experience.
Yeah, it's like if the party just decided we're not adventuring anymore, we're gonna find a town that doesn't have protection, and we will become their military. That's essentially what it's like.
Yeah,
led by the beefiest of Dragonborn.
And then I imagine there maybe, I don't know if this is something you thought out, but even if there is a militia, it might even be, since the town's so small, everybody might have, for the most part, like a general knowledge of like just defense, right? Like, or like, hey, I'm trying to think of a good example. I know that there's some countries like overseas where they're like, hey, it's mandatory for you to serve in the military for 2 years or something like that, right? Not quite to that extent here, but
it's not quite that, but there is a general sense of what they need to do to survive. I don't know if you're super familiar with the Van Richten's lineages, like the Dampier lineage, but each Dampier has a specific hunger, and it's built into their character plot. So a lot of times with these Dampiers specifically, because they are peaceful, they are, when they come back to their second life and they realize, oh, I don't feel that much different than I did before, but now I'm just like craving bone marrow. Like, what do I do? When they're entering the town, they go through extensive training to circumvent their hunger specifically. They diagnose what their hunger is, and then they learn how to use their new natural weapons. 'Cause all Dhampir have, including like Dragonborn, whatever their previous species was, they all have claws and they all have fangs that can be used as magical attacks, which is really cool. But these Dhampir specifically are sworn to not use them against other peaceful living creatures. So unless they are actively under attack, they do not use them.
Yeah.
So Silgath and Warwick, it's on your character sheet, I believe. Claw attacks and fang attacks.
Yeah. That's what it is.
It would be very weird for either of them to witness another person from Mir using those, and if they do use them, you know that something is bad. Like something bad is happening.
Like they at least feel somewhat threatened, right?
Yeah. And that's why Warwick has like all of the items that he has, and the sword and all of his protectors, because he doesn't like fighting with those innate weapons, because when you do that, your hunger increases while you're doing that. So it's easier to like fly off the handle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you use those, because they're built into your anatomy, you know.
It leans into that like primal, I guess, Dhampir instinct, right? Where you're like, I need to consume blood or consume marrow, but then it's like built into you biologically, I suppose.
Yeah. So each time, I don't know if I'm gonna, because nobody's playing a Dhampir, so I don't feel like it's necessary for me to really try to make this work immediately.
Yeah.
But I would like to have a mechanic, because the mechanic is going to be sanity. I'm going to have you make a sanity check, which I don't think I added to Warwick's sheet, but that's fine. It's just a +3. But if you use it every time you use it in a specific amount of time, I think I might make it a long rest, because then you could go for more than one day, possibly. But per long rest, if you use it every time you use it, the DC increases by 1, starting at a 10. So you have to roll really badly to succumb to your hunger. But if you fail, then you keep going out. Like if the creature that is closest to you possesses that hunger, if they have bone marrow or if they have blood or whatever it is, then your next attack must be made against that person using your claw or bite attack.
Dude, I'm so
and
glad
that will trigger another. What are you going to say? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I'm so glad Teth doesn't have bones or blood.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst. I'm all right.
Yeah, Teth could just walk through. Like Teth is the least wanted man in all of Mir. He just walks through and everybody like vomits in their mouth. Like, oh, oil and metal and wood.
The least wanted man in Mir, but the most wanted man for anybody over 300 years old.
Correct. Correct. We can also, no, we probably shouldn't do that tonight. That'll break the continuity of Teth still being in combat. I was gonna say we could do that conversation with Des that you wanted to do, but next week will be a perfect time for that.
Oh yeah, got a good conversation for Des. Make him get warm and fuzzy.
I'm ready for that.
Build the without getting into it, just build the camaraderie essentially.
Yeah, because I like all of my NPCs to an extent. Like I don't know that I would ever create an NPC that I don't enjoy playing. Like I may not agree with them personally, but I want to enjoy playing all of the NPCs. But Dez obviously is a little bit different. Like I want him to succeed just a little bit more than everybody else.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Cool. So we are starting out here in the barracks. Eric and Warwick, that's going to be weird to say many times. You just watched Teth and Brackle exit out this bottom door here, and they went out to catch up with Urzok and Eleanor, checking out the south border. And you are here in the barracks. Vern is still asleep. He is peacefully asleep on this cot over here. Silgath is still. You can see, just like last week, he's writing things in the air with his fingers. It almost seems like he is. He'll write things out and then kind of shoo it away as if he's sending things out. Warwick, you would know that he does this all the time. He is just communicating with other people in different parts of the country. Yeah, here you are.
Okay.
I actually imagine Silgath as like a what is that movie called? Beautiful Mind. It's like doing all this like math and like magic, but he's actually just like losing his mind. Right.
That's an interesting analogy because it is very close to that. He was a scientist in life, in his first life, and then he was overcome by his hunger, like we were just talking about when he first. He established Mir as a city, as a haven for other people that are choosing to come back for a second go around, and he didn't have that support system or any of the knowledge that he gives to people now. So when he transitioned, when he died and came back, immediately he was like, "Oh yeah, like I'm gonna kill so many people," and he did for a long time.
Yeah.
Before he came back, and he and Serafina, or Shaw, as the tithes know her, they kind of made a pact together to be better and to teach other people how to do that as well. So he is very analytical. He's kind of more organic in how he thinks and acts now because he's retrained himself over decades of time.
It's funny how similar that is to Teth.
It is very similar to Teth. You're right.
Yep.
So in the barracks, I think Eric wants to go down to the bottom left table there. It looks like there's some stools.
Mm-hmm.
I can grab a stool and drag the stool over to Vern's bedside. Let's see here. Are there any candles in the room?
I would say no.
Okay.
It is currently being lit by sunlight.
Okay. And what kind of roof is going on here? Is there a ceiling? Is there?
It's a 15-foot ceiling.
Mhm.
There are. It's a very shallow, kind of domed roof, arched roof. So maybe 16 feet in the very center, but it's not enough to make much of a difference. Between 15 and 16 feet across the entire thing. So the roof is relatively flat. It is shingled on the top, not thatched. You would notice a distinction from other buildings in town. They are thatched. This one has shingles. I guess what else would you like to know?
I was jokingly, something came to mind. I was like, with my experience with buildings and inspecting buildings, is there any black mold present?
There is absolutely no black mold present.
There's too much sunlight. Good.
You're totally
Maybe
safe.
I'll suggest some windows to Helen when I'm back in the capital.
Maybe. I don't think there were any windows. It was all arcane lit.
All right. So
Oops, Helen.
Eric's the type of guy who's just like where Vern is. The party's maybe not like run to the litter. You know, he's the newcomer. As far as non-tithes in the party, Teth and Vern, Teth more than can handle himself. Vern is still proving himself, but
Mm-hmm.
he's definitely a great addition to the party. But Eric's got a longer relationship with Vern than some of the other guys in the party do, so he's gonna just meditate by his side. I know that there was a Silgath, like he kind of knew there was movement somehow. You guys were talking about it with the Beautiful Mind reference, Professor Nash
Mm-hmm.
doing arithmetic. So I'll just sort of just reach out to Silgath from across the room. And so Silgath, do you have any updates?
He'll say, not currently, but Eleanor will come back or at least report back when something is discovered.
Eleanor, yeah. Okay. Warwick, do you have any suggestions, or perhaps your sister?
Anything Bell related, Billy, I'll give the answer. But Warwick is pretty open. He's just kind of jubilant a lot. He's very big, kind of like a picture like John Candy in Cool Runnings. If you've ever seen that movie, like he's just got a huge personality. Okay. Man,
I
I'm trying
imagine
to
he's
think.
he's very big and like bubbly and happy and just like kind of go with the flow, right?
He's like if Santa Claus was a tribal warrior.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's the
Sure.
vibe that I'm going for. Yeah. So whatever you want to do, we'll just I trust you to kind of follow that, and
I will
I'm not
try, and
gonna
if I say something that is completely inaccurate, just let me know.
I will step in if you say something that's lore bending, but other than that, go for it, and we'll
Yeah.
just roll with
Bella
it.
Bella is actually a Wan Ti priestess, and she comes from a long lineage of Lich. Yeah. Unfortunately, she lost her
She's gonna
legs.
kill all of you.
Yeah, she's her affliction is she wants to eat humans. No, sorry. Your question, Brad, about Bell.
Well, yeah. So Bell, I remember last episode went to the observatory. After presenting, you know, obviously the device to shatter the orb with the power, the beacon thing, the divination. It's not an arcane eye, right? Is it or some kind of spell that I would know? The green orb.
You could certainly go check. Make
Requiring me
a
to go
well.
out under the
You were outside before. Make an Arcana check.
Arcana. Okay. Nice. 19 plus 2, 21.
Hell yeah. Just realized I didn't have my dice out. With a 21, you're relatively certain that it is not an arcane eye, and it is not clairvoyance. So it's nothing sensor related.
I think last episode is at least discovered to be divination. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Yep. You could surmise that it is not actively perceiving. It seems to just be a beacon, like a dropped pin on a GPS.
Mm-hmm.
Or a really big torch.
Or really, yeah.
From Eric's
Something
memory,
bringing people to your location.
how high is it hovering? And
It was higher than the tree, so at least
Mm.
35, 40 feet. The tree is very tall. Um, well, probably higher than that. That's about where the tree sits. So maybe 50 feet, 60 feet up in the air. Dice.
Also
Or-
true. I don't know.
yeah,
I was gonna say I don't know if it. I don't know if it matters for this, but the conversation with like Bell and outside, I don't know if necessarily we all would have been privy to inside of this building. I believe.
You would not. No.
Trying to get in
Bell.
mindset.
Yeah. Not acting like Teth tonight.
Yep.
So yeah, as you are, you're kind of sitting by Vern, looking back on your perception of the orb and what happened immediately following the broadcast. And both of you notice Silgath stop. His fingers stop moving. He stops doing whatever he is conjuring at the moment and looks up at both of you. And he'll look straight at you, Warwick. He'll say, in a very, like, you can tell when he's panicking. And he's not quite panicking, but you know that he knows something is wrong, something is the matter. And he'll say, Warwick, bar the door. Doors. Both doors. And he will take out from underneath this table a giant piece of wood, and he's going to pull it over here and put it onto this door, and he will toss, because he's surprisingly strong for his smaller stature, he will toss another piece of wood to you, Warwick, for the other door.
Nice. Yeah, work will just give a nod and just start taking action. So, how big is this? Is it like just like a plank of wood?
Yeah, it's like a plank of wood. Not as small as a 2x4, but like we're talking like it's going over this door up here, so maybe 5 feet across, 6 feet across. Definitely more than an inch thick. It's a thick boy. Maybe like 1.5 feet in width. So it's a chunk of wood, but I mean it's like carrying nothing for you.
Yeah. I was just trying to get an idea. So yeah,
Also,
he'll.
can you move Warwick's token? I didn't ask you to test that. Okay, perfect.
So he'll hustle on over there and look back towards Silgath, and don't remember what work sounds like. So he's gonna be just say,
just very boisterous. Just yeah.
What about the windows? Those two?
You'll see Silgath kind of close his hands, and like a steel mesh will just formulate over top of the windows. So you can still see out of them, but they are protected. And he's going to go up to this window and start looking out.
that's why you're the boss. Yeah, that's cool. I'll also. You said I can move these targets. These like big,
Yes.
flat, like heavy things.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would also
Yes.
start moving.
These are squares. They are 5 foot by 5 foot squares, or maybe just smaller than that. I think they ended up being smaller than that. Maybe like 3.5 foot squares,
Um,
but they're thick. They're like big, thick, leather padded targets with full wooden, like iron reinforced bases. So they're very heavy.
do I know if either of these doors are particularly more reinforced than the other? I'm guessing maybe it's town. It's not like they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have iron grating over this one, and then this one's gonna have nothing. Just a
Neither of them are particularly reinforced. This one is wider, so it's a little bit more susceptible because there's only that one piece of wood across it, but it does have iron brackets going across as well. So each door down here is a little bit more reinforced than this one, but there is a weak point because it's wider, so the center point is the weak point. Yeah.
right. So if that is the case, then he would pick up one of those targets and try and place it boop, down there. So essentially, oh god, this move. I was like, what happened?
They're on the map layer, so I can move them. You cannot move them.
Yeah, so pretty much would be where, because I'm assuming it opens up like this, right?
This door does open inwards. Yes, it opens in.
So theoretically, there's the hold on, because I can draw. So there's a bar that's across that Slogath put there.
Yep.
So you would have theoretically you'd have your this. See, this is tactic shit that my brain loves. So you would go in here. So theoretically, the point of entry would be here. So you're gonna want it here, but closer to the door, obviously. So flatten up against the center of mass, I guess, if that is possible.
Yep.
Cool. That was a lot of words to put a thing on a door.
Well,
For now,
Sure,
I'm going to
thank you.
take the grid off because that's going to be a lot easier to move.
Let me get rid of all this drawing. Yeah.
Is that where you wanted it?
Yep. Perfect.
Cool.
all right. So Eric's idea, in this training dummy, maybe this one or the other. I want to put both.
This one is connected to the floor, but this one is free to move around.
Okay. I think I want to take a cloak that I have in my inventory and put it over that corner dummy, the free one to move, and place the dummy in bed.
Okay.
And then inside the pocket of inside of Vern's pocket, because remember we discovered he had a sculpture that wasn't necessarily something that he always had.
I think it was destroyed.
Remember they broke it and then put it back in his pocket or something?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Oh,
the
yeah.
magic went away when we broke it, right?
It did, yes.
Oh, so I don't have to necessarily do that. I guess trying to remember from that conversation, did we determine anything that Vern could have been tracked by? Like, let's say scrying works where you have a save modifier if you have like that person's item. Was there anything that was new to Vern that's on his person? Someone could be scrying to locate him.
All divination magic dropped when he
Brackle did like true seeing. You could tell.
yeah. I think when he fainted.
Yeah. So there was an enchantment
divination dropped, and then the enchantment took effect. He fainted, and divination dropped. So currently, to your knowledge, there is no scrying going on at all.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's good. At least I still want to put a cloak on a dummy in the other bed.
Okay.
I know
Yeah,
Vern had a top
we
hat
will do
taken
that.
by Brackle.
He
Is
did.
there-
Yeah, he did take the top hat.
I'm trying to think. Is there anything that like Vern could, from Eric's point of view, perceivably Vern could just do without? He's got just some run of the mill scarf or personal
of Vern's. Yeah, he has plenty of embellishments on his clothing. You could take any number of um, rings off of his person. I know that he has
No, I'm
just
kind of looking for. Is
some like
there a?
undercloaks and things like that.
I'd have the cloak on him. Maybe like his shoes.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
Does he have like? Isn't have like fancy shoes that you would miss?
Yes. Yeah. Nice shoes, nice leather boots.
Okay, I think I'll just put those on it at the bottom of the cloak. You could probably see Vern's boots, just
On
in
the
case
bottom of the
someone.
dummy.
Yeah, just in case people looking for Vern's
Okay.
boots. It's
I
like
tell you what, a really tall hat would have been perfect. for
I
this
know.
situation.
I wanted that.
Poking at the top, and then you get little feet at the bottom.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So we have a dummy under a cloak with boots on its feet.
Mm-hmm.
Now Vern is sitting here with no shoes on. Vern is laying there with no shoes on.
How do his feet smell?
Roll a percentile die.
Oh no.
I got 72. 72.
72. They smell fine. There's no particular odor there. It's not. It doesn't smell good, but it's not like wretched.
Mm.
I mean, it's feet and shoes and socks and the whatever times, right?
I'll
Yeah,
just.
he hasn't done a lot of hardcore adventuring since he woke up this morning. So
I'll cast like I think I have my druid craft or something that can create a scent.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna create a scent of mint.
Okay. Gotta love those minty fresh socks.
Well, because we're gonna be moving this body, we don't, want the discomfort of
Body.
It's true.
yo.
This a sleep friend. He's not a body yet. Yeah. What would you like to do with Vern, your alive friend,
All
who
right,
still is alive?
and now that Silgath has kind of ordered the doors to be blocked, I'm just gonna like look to Silgath because he's the one who's got some kind of locating lookout going on right now. I was like, are we getting out of here? Well, I do have a transporting spell. All of us could use. If now's the time. Just say it. Silgath.
He'll say, "How far can you take us?"
Okay.
And how many can travel with you?
Very good question. So, this spell that I do talk of creates a link between me and a plant, and anywhere on the same plane of existence, quite literally any distance. I'm talking about the transport via plant spell, if you're familiar. So yeah, for the duration, any creature can step into target plants, exit, just using normal movement, and we will head to any plant that I think of. I can that I've been to, have seen this plant.
Oh, that's the iconic. You pick a big tree and go outside of another big tree, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that would be great to evacuate an entire village if you had enough time.
So speaking of time, the duration, 1 round. So I haven't used the spell.
Is that,
What?
is that
6
is that
seconds?
1 round per creature?
All right, casting time, 1 action, range area, 10 feet.
Let
Some
me look
verbal
this up.
somatic components. One
Yeah.
round duration. Player's Handbook, page 283. But we're probably just gonna search D&D Beyond.
Yes.
Duration's 1 round, casting time's 1 action.
Okay.
So basically, anyone within an action or action and dash action movement speed to that plant can get in.
So here's the math. It's like, how many people can you rush through a 5 foot square realistically in 6 seconds?
Well, that's the funny thing is that realistically, probably not so many. But the way D&D works, everyone has the initiative, and so they go in seemingly one at a time.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's like combat versus like real time, right?
Yeah.
So that would be judgment.
So I'm gonna say the way that this reads that you could cast it, but there's no way that more than 15 people would be able to get into that plant.
It's funny that
I
that
don't
was the
know.
number I came to as well, as 15. Like thinking,
It's I mean, you got to imagine between 15 and 20, and you're leaving behind the weakest people that can't get to the, unless you just shove all those people in and then the stronger people elect to stay behind. I could see that. Yeah, there's no way. So I guess I'll ask you this, because I would allow you to use this for sure. What is your goal to get out, or is your goal to get other people out, or a combination of the two?
Well, does Silgath know that the um so obviously we're being tracked, the party specifically. It's not like the town. But unless do you think we know that the casters would just put their wrath on Mir just by having
Um,
connection to it?
let's actually role play this out a little bit. So maybe that'll clear some things up organically. So Silgath is going to come back over to you guys over here. He'll kind of huddle up with everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll say, he'll look at Warwick first. He'll say, I believe this is what we feared. It is my opinion that those running the Piro barracks to the south must be working with the casters. And he'll, much like I guess you guys didn't see this, but from a player perspective, kind of like he showed Urzok in Arcadia, kind of manipulated surroundings to paint a picture or tell a story. He will kind of wave his hands, and then individual floor tiles and food from the table and a couple of weapons from the weapons rack are going to start swirling around. And just the way that he's manipulating them is showing you a picture of the portion of the party and Eleanor that are down outside of the wall, fighting robots, fighting constructs. So he's going to show that to you, and then he's going to manipulate it again, and it swirls around, and it shows Dez and Flynn at the house, at the mansion, fighting constructs as well, with pieces of the mansion being ripped off. There's a part of the mansion that's on fire, and then he's going to show another portion with several other constructs drilling into a wall with no one around. And he'll say, "This is the northwest wall. No one is out there to defend it, but we must stay here and defend the city." So basically, he's showing you there are 3 attack points outside of the walls, and 2 of them are being covered right now, but one of them is a weak spot in the northwest.
Is this like right now?
Right now. Yep.
We need to go protect. We need to protect the people. I need to go.
And he'll say, "You need to stay here with Vern. I cannot explain the extent of why he needs to be safe, but he needs to be safe."
So we're just gonna let them drill into this wall and then invade the town?
He's going to put a hand on your chest, and as he puts his hand on your chest, you feel like the air just escape your throat and your mouth, and you can't talk anymore. And he's going to say, "Please, stay here and protect him. I will get everyone else out." And he'll look over at Eric, and he'll say, "How many people do you think you can get out by yourself?" He'll release you, Warwick.
And then
That's
so,
kind.
as we discussed above game, sounds like 15. Me, Vern, and Warwick 3, so I can get a dozen others. But Warwick and I have to stay with Vern to protect him. So, like I said, us and a dozen.
And he'll get up close to both of you, and he'll say, "Your friends are fighting." He'll look right at you, Eric. He'll say, "Your friends are fighting on behalf of our city, and I appreciate this. But now I must ask of you." Oh shoot! Keyboard player in my band just tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
I just saw him on Saturday.
That sucks.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Oof.
I just thought of something funny. Dampiers don't breathe.
Oh.
They don't. That, I guess that was a bad way to describe it. He just like took the vibrating property of your vocal folds. I'll say that. You just can't
Yeah, I
produce
got it.
sound.
Yep. It's just like stop.
He actually put air into your mouth.
Yeah. Oh God. What is this?
I'm not used to this. Too much happening.
Start hyperventilating. Get it out.
This colossus of a dragonborn, he's taken down by a little bit of oxygen.
Yeah.
Silgath will say, "Your friends are fighting on behalf of our city, and I appreciate this, but I must ask of you something more difficult. Can you come with me help get the weak out of our city. Warwick will stay here with Vern.
You mean Warwick will stay here with the dummy that I've made to look like Vern, and no one will be any wiser? Who's weaker than Vern in this state?
And he'll concede and say, "This is true." And he will pick Vern up, and he'll say, "Please let us go now."
Yeah, no, Eric is leaving. We are going as fast as possible.
Right. And he'll look back at Warwick, and he'll say, "What will he say?" Well, I guess I'll walk that back. I forgot that Vern is not stationary. He will request that both of you come with him. Then.
As I
So
say,
we
either
barred the
that
doors for nothing.
or Work just like defends this like fake body of Vern.
I don't know. I guess that could be a strategy. I don't know. What do you think?
Or like,
As Warwick, what would you do?
Hmm.
Like, would they just leave Vern there by himself if he's?
You mean would I mean I think Work would just prioritize life in general or like saving. You could
Mhm.
literally I imagine that he would literally let everybody else leave the city and be the only person there just fighting things, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And would just be okay with it.
This is what Silgath will say.
This would be bad role playing because then I would just say, "All right, Billy, you stay here," and nothing else happened.
Um, this is what I'll say, because this is clearly a barracks, right? There is a bunker underneath the observation tower beneath Bell's workshop. That if you got 20 people out, if you got 20 people out, the rest of the town could fit down there. And they don't need to eat or breathe or sleep, so they could be down there for a while.
Dummy doesn't need to eat, breathe, or sleep. So Warwick, take the dummy over to the bunker. Still maintain the guys that you're protecting, Vern.
Hold on one second, guys. I gotta run something down to Brianna real quick.
Okay.
Dude.
Yeah, that would have been a bad move. They're just like, all right, Work, you stay here. Oh, I forgot you're not an NPC.
I love the idea of this false Vern. Where it's just like we have to protect the dummy. We have to protect him. Shoes and his top hat that doesn't exist right now.
We've got the captain of Mir's guard watching over this dummy.
Yep. Funny.
No, that was my bad. I was like thinking of Warwick as an NPC, I guess.
Nah, dude, I would have.
Okay, never mind. He's going to set Vern down, lay Vern down on the floor, and he'll walk up to Warwick, and he'll say, "I must ask you to do something that I hoped I would never have to ask. Will you stay behind while Eric and I get the rest of the city out?"
Of course. Yes. Without a doubt.
Unbar the doors. Sit and wait by the cot. They should be almost through the wall at this point. This is the first building they will encounter on their way into the city, and I'm sure they will be knocking on every door.
Yeah, Work will start unbarring as Silgath asks.
He will pick Vern back up, and he'll start walking towards the door as it's being unbarred, and he's going to walk out, and he'll look back at Warwick, and he'll say, "My friend, I will see you soon." He will walk out with Vern.
Work will call out as he's walking away. Stay safe, brother.
And a little bit of the lightheartedness that you saw from Stilgath when you first met him, Eric. He'll kind of pop his head back around the door frame and just give a quick thumbs up, and then like point at point at Warwick, crack a little smile, and then start walking back around to the observatory. Um, and you can take that, Warwick, as a sign that he is going to certainly include Bell among the people that Eric transports out to safety.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about that actually.
Mm-hmm. So it's
So
time for Eric to follow, right, and say goodbye to
yes.
Warwick. Or Warwick's one of those guys that you can't help but elevate your mood to a happy mood when you're around him. So Eric will give him some guidance for the next minute, touching his shoulder and saying goodbye, saying after this, we get out of this, raspberry pancakes with, Beth and the whole town.
After this, I will spar every single person in your party, and then we will all eat raspberry pancakes.
So long as I can profit and bet that you'll win.
I don't think
Right.
I don't think betting is against the culture here, but I could be
Sure.
wrong.
I think that's pretty universally frowned upon. It's not a big place for betting.
Not
They
a
don't
place
have
for
possessions, right? Like that's like
Well, yeah,
really
that's
what they concern themselves with. So it might be the kind of thing they avoid, but
we'll bet with communal pancakes. Only
There
that.
we go. Perfect.
well, also, I besides this transporting with plants, I can do a lot of others with plants and looking around these farms.
You got a bunch of plant
Oh,
based
I could
things,
just,
right?
like the plant growth spell where like you do the one that goes over a farm field, and like the next
Yeah.
year is like twice the bounty or harvest,
Mhm.
so
I do think while sitting
there's
down,
a good future for this town once we get through.
I do think while sitting down next to the fake Vern, Work's a big guy. I don't know how big Eric is, but Work will just reach over a hand, clap him on the shoulder, and kind of get very sincere and say thank you for you're doing a good thing. Got to get these people out of here. That being the case, Silgas really fast, so you might want to catch up if you're going.
That's really funny. Silgath is really fast.
Yeah.
This is goodbye, and I will make sure we save your sister. And yeah, he's already halfway there. I should go. So I go. I flee out
So
the door.
Eric, you are following Silgath to Beth's house first. So no, never mind. You're gonna go to I'll
We touch the
kind of
tree.
switch you over to Mir first. So you can go over to the tree first, and he will deviate from you after dropping Vern off. So he's going to take Vern over there. Eleanor, Teth, Urzak, they're all gone. Eccle's gone. Barka's in there. So he's going to drop Vern off with you while you prepare the spell at the tree. And he is going to go meet with Belle, grab her, and you'll see him like jump almost, like he can teleport, like Nightcrawler Bamf across the city. Like you can see little puffs of smoke here and there, just hopping from house to house. And you see, as he does this, several older people, Beth included, will come out. Belle will come out in her chair, and you'll see two children as well, a little boy and a little girl. You would estimate maybe 5 and 8. The boy is younger. They're going to come out with you as well. So you have about 20 people out with you right now. And he is going to he's going to kind of whisper in Belle's ear, and you can kind of overhear that he's telling her to make sure that Vern is safe, because he is not going into the tree with anybody else. And you can cast your spell now if you'd like. Are you electing to go into the tree with them, or are you going to stay behind?
Yeah, I don't have to go. Does that mean we can get another townsfolk through?
That would mean that you could get another townsfolk through. That is true.
But it does also mean I'm not following with Silgath and Vern.
Silgath's not going either.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
He's entrusting Vern to Belle.
And also, we have to pick where we're sending them to.
Castor Capital.
Right. The plant inside of Selma's Tavern.
Go to Helen's General Store.
Is there a place that you trust like back home? For Eric, is that like a thing that he would feel comfortable with, or if it's, I don't know how it is, the home versus.
Because you have to
Well,
have touched the destination plant.
Yeah, if you've seen or touched, I believe. But yeah, if you think about it, casters actually go to New Ponteg before, maybe the two-faced war or whatever. Yeah, Ponteg was a stronghold that was anti-caster.
Yeah, you would know very well, Eric, that New Ponteg is extremely anti-caster. Only because you are extremely for the old rule from the Ponteg kingdom. So you don't really care for much of the rest of the country anyway, but specifically the casters.
But New Ponteg, we decided was like a tourist destination for,
It is a tourist destination. So unfortunately, some of the rich in the country are casters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a age-old tradition that casters are like their rule there just matters a little bit less to the people that live there.
Okay.
I don't know if this is something that would be in like Eric's purview, but like maybe that's actually not a bad idea, because like you might know the right people be like, hey, if we're sending these people through that are fleeing caster persecution, right? Like you might know somebody who would protect them, or like know a group of people that are kind of towards that cause, like, oh yeah, fuck the casters, right?
Yeah.
Almost like cool with like, housing or hiding or relocating. I'm just brainstorming because I'm work.
I'm brainstorming too, and I'm thinking maybe the like cemetery of the the undead cemetery and stuff like that.
Oh.
I think that's a pretty safe spot. It's got to be. I mean, we had to be personally shown there.
It's another plane. That would
It is.
be incredibly safe.
I think the problem is I have to send him to the plane just outside the gate. That's it. That's fine. There were plenty of
Well,
planes.
yeah. I mean, it would be up to Beth and Belle to get everybody into the cemetery from that point.
Okay.
Brain eggs for everybody.
You think that's good? Warwick/Tess/Billy.
I'm not here, but I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. I think the rest of the party would approve. After all, that was, such a. It wasn't. It was like a mere secret that he had to show us. I think.
Yeah.
He mentioned. I remember that episode of like mentioning he'd only shown a few outsiders, right?
He mentioned that you were the first. You were the first outsiders that were not
that is
citizens of
good.
Mir.
That is good. And the people would certainly love to go there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, well, it's decided.
All right.
The one thing
What
I have
does
to
the
decide is
spell?
I am not going through the thing. I am staying to protect the town. With Silgath. Trusting
Are
Vern's Bell.
you were deciding that, or
Yeah,
you
'cause
have decided that?
I have decided. I am confident that
Okay.
I've picked a good destination. I wasn't so sure about other places across the continent, but yeah.
Yeah, great. What does your spell look like as you're touching the tree, which is an extremely magical tree, by the way? This is
Oh God.
unlike any other plant that you've touched before.
My only improv
What?
is like fucking comedy. So I'm thinking about just like those people that go out into the forest and like are turned on by nature. Like just like for some reason just like he's just like dry humping the tree. Like,
Eric,
I
dry
don't know.
humping to save lives. Hilarious.
But your campaign is not that, but
I mean,
yeah.
we've had funny points. Maybe this is not one of those times.
But that's why it
but
works so
yeah.
well. No.
Yeah, I mean,
sort of
however you are
trace-
you're a druid, so do whatever you want.
No, I would trace a chalk, sort of just a chalk outline, right, of this portal, this door. Starting from trunk to, going up alongside, and I'm not very good at this. The spell would look like.
I think.
Yeah,
See,
whirl it,
this is
leap.
what I think. I think that you're much better than you believe that you are, because there are some things that you describe in this game that are ridiculous that nobody else would think of. So just clear your mind and think about what this spell looks like for Eric. What's the kind of magic that Eric likes to cast?
Okay, I
And
got
how
it.
does that
I came up
interact
with
with the
something.
spells that you're casting?
So within one action, right? So
Mhm.
a rain cloud pops up just above the tree. Down comes this rain, and like right out of the ground are these roots right at the base of the tree that kind of just pop up into this ovular, 10-foot tall door. So it's just instant. It's just like and growing up this door to walk through. You just like ivy, just like vines.
Yeah, that's awesome. People start walking through, and it's slowly, it slowly closes in as time elapses. Yeah, you get all 20 people that were there, including Belle, Beth, and Vern, through the portal, and they are gone, and the portal closes. Eric, make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution.
The DC would have been higher if you humped the tree.
What is the DC of the saving throw?
The DC, let me look at this. I know I have it somewhere. DC is going to be 15.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Not bad.
22, because I have a plus 11.
Easy.
Easy.
You have a plus 11. Jeez.
Yeah, bro. I think.
Hey.
Gotta put our milk away.
What's going on?
Oh, so you have proficiency?
Yeah, I've got proficiency in that. I've also got intelligence and wisdom saving throws with proficiency.
Hey. Do you see
And then-
everybody over there?
There's something else
See
that gives me
Brad
a
and Bill?
+2 on con.
Can you wait?
Can you wave? Wave, wave, wave.
There's people on your computer screen.
You wanna go take a bath?
Whoa.
Yep.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
ready.
Oh,
Come on.
yeah. Go take a bath, baby.
Go take a
Go
bath.
with mama.
Come on. Tilly, leave us alone. I'm mad at you.
You did miss
Good job.
last week Archer running around naked, shitting on the floor.
I heard he was shaking down the cake.
Yeah, naked, butt ass naked, just everywhere.
That made me think of that when my medical insurance card came in with his name.
Yeah,
Do I have a shitting condition or just gonna shit whenever
no.
the worst time is?
Yeah, so you get everybody through. And with that con save, you save for sure. You will get an extra D4 to any nature-based check, Eric.
Okay.
And that doesn't necessarily have to be nature, but perception of nature, investigation in nature, any natural-based check that you want to do, you get an extra die for from the tree.
Wow.
The tree is
Like
kind.
I also might as well just try for shits and giggles, see if this works. It's a bear tree, correct?
Right
I
now, it
also
is a bear tree. Yes.
There was some revelation that it was in bloom, and
It was in bloom when Brackle looked at it with true sight.
I think I just want to try a druid craft and see if I can pick out where a leaf would be at the tip of a branch and try to bud it, try to blossom it. Can't do
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Make a nature check.
I rolled pretty well. 17 plus 7, so 24. Don't feel like I need to use my D4 yet. I'm gonna go with that.
So
24.
with a 24, you have used this. I mean, it's a pretty basic spell for any druid, right? So you have cast this. You've used these types of magics many times in your life, and you're pretty certain that you know how it feels when it lands, when it takes effect. With your eyes, you cannot see anything. Nothing blooms. Nothing doesn't. It doesn't seem like anything changes on the tree.
Mhm.
But the way that you feel when you're casting that primal magic, it feels like it worked. It's a very weird cognitive dissonance for Eric because it feels like it was successful, and by all accounts, how you feel internally, the magic took and it worked, but you do not see anything changing on the tree. Also, make another con saving throw.
Got him.
Oh no. Okay. I failed this one. 12.
Interesting. So the DC actually went up because you cast another spell right away.
That's
The DC for that one was 16. It went up by 1. Yeah, so with a 12, you are actually so it'll be neutralized. You do not have that bonus anymore. It would have taken a D4 from your next naturally based check.
Okay.
So you're
Okay.
just you no longer have that bonus.
But yeah, that's some interesting knowledge. Interacting with the tree. All right, back to present time. State of affairs.
Silgath is going to look at the tree where the portal was. He won't say anything. You can just see on his face that he feels conflicted. He's sad that he doesn't get to go with his people, but he's happy that this is a once in a century type of thing, that their town has never been under attack before. So he feels very strange about having to finally step up and take like preventative measures as the leader of the town. I think there's a sense of pride there, but also a sense of sorrow that he can't go with them and protect them himself. And he'll look at Eric and he'll say, "Come, we must aid Warwick now." And I am going to switch back to the barracks. Warwick. Or go ahead, Eric. Do you have something
'Cause
else?
remember I did like a guidance to him. Obviously, that would have
Mhm.
dropped when I did the transport plants. So
Yeah.
can we just maybe give him a chance if he wants to do an ability check or something?
Oh, we're gonna give him a chance.
Cool.
Don't you worry.
I feel bad like saying like, hey, I'm gonna leave the NPC Warwick here. Oh shit. It's not an NPC
Oh no,
right now.
Warwick's gonna get plenty of chances to use that guidance right now.
Let's go.
Warwick, you watch Silgath with Vern across his shoulder and Eric exit the door and close the door behind them. And moments after you watch them go, you hear a soft thud to the west of the building. You can hear it outside, kind of this direction up here. It doesn't seem super close, but you could definitely hear it. It's definitive. Just out in the outside area.
Is it like talking or
hear-
just like
it hears like it hears. It sounds like a thud on the ground, like something is hitting the ground. And then you hear another one. Then you hear 2 more. So 4 total, all in succession, just a couple seconds apart. And you hear a voice. You can't understand what it's saying. It's very low, but it's like a kind of an eerie mid-tone, gravelly voice. And it's kind of outside the building, up in this direction. So they're coming in. I'll tell you above game. They're coming in. I will give you 30 seconds to prepare the room how you want it to be.
oh, I get a preparation?
You get 30 seconds of prep.
Man.
Do all kinds of shit.
30 seconds is a lot of time.
So much
For
creative
the
stuff that I
biggest
can
dragon.
do. And I'm trying to think what work would do.
Think of like Jackie Chan. He's gonna like add spearheads to like the training dummy that rotates.
And yeah, remember you are in this room daily. You know this place inside and out.
Okay. So there's this guy who's bolted to the ground. All right. This little dummy.
Yep.
One of these guys. So I heard a bunch of noise here.
Yes.
Correct. So these are super heavy
Actually,
duty.
I'm gonna give you the option. Do you want to do this in real time and explain everything, or would you like to go into turn order and take 5 turns?
I'll just explain it really quick, and I'll just try to keep in mind that amount of time, and then like do the math. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I guess I want to get a baseline here. These are super heavy duty, right?
Correct.
Are they made of wood?
They're a wood base with iron supports, and it's a thick iron, wood, and leather padded front. So it's a lot of metal in there.
Okay. So here's my idea. I want to try and create maybe 2 using the weapons available. Mostly probably the pointy things, realistically. Javelins. You could potentially maybe use spears, more javelins, maybe even a glaive. And use something similar to this, something that's long and flat, or even potentially one of these tables. But I basically want to make them into not even necessarily a pit trap, but like a palisade, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And
Okay.
just because, why not, right?
Right.
And they were talking back here. So I don't know. Did I see them drilling through things in Silgas thing in his message?
Yes. You saw them drilling the wall.
Okay. So I want to try and utilize this. And the reason I was asking what it was made out of is I don't know if it's I don't even know how the hell I would do it like as me. Right? It's like you could stick things through a thing, but then like if it's too thick, then you try to stick the thing through the thing, it's gonna break the thing.
Right.
Right? So
Need one of Leander's Teflon
Yeah.
Teflon javelins.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Let me just check something real quick. Oh, fuck yeah. Okay. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
Right here, where these assholes were, explosive seed. Acorn-sized sphere of brass containing a small amount of blasting powder. That bitch is going right there. I see as an action. Is there a way for me to set it as a trap as opposed to it being an impact? So basically, if that wall breaks, or if it were to be...
I would say if you were to set it on the ground and something heavy were to fall on it, or you would throw something heavy on top of it, I would allow that as a set trap.
Perfect. So I will set that right here in front of this thing, because they're going to be like, oh, there's a thing, I got to go around, and then they're going to walk over it. Or maybe they'll just blast through it. So I'll set my little baby acorn over here.
So so this is the door.
Oh,
So
sorry.
you're setting it in front of the
Yep.
wall. Just I thought I knew where you were going with it, but I just assumed you were putting it in the wrong spot. You wanted to
Yep.
put this next to the door. Do you want this moved close to it?
Yeah. So sorry, I have the wrong. Actually, I don't think I can pick that up. No, I can't pick it up.
I'll move it for you.
Yeah. So basically, put the acorn thing here. Take that, and then place it, right here, so it's on the ground, halfway between the door when they first walk in. Or, how would I do this? Acorn's
It's going to be
definitely there.
your explosive seed.
Yep.
Smaller than that scale wise, but just so we know where it is.
Yeah. So okay, this will be slanted. That door. The acorn will be here, and then the second thing I will do, or maybe the last thing I will do, I'm assuming that takes 2 rounds to do. The dummy is here, so I'm okay there. I will grab. Does the dummy hold a weapon, or is it literally just like a dummy?
That one is just a dummy. This one does not move.
Okay.
I will say, as far as material goes, this you could stick something through.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm going through breaching tactics in my brain.
Like spear, javelin goes in the back of the dummy and out the front, and it's got a bunch of pointed stuff.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. You're going to see that. You might not necessarily charge it initially, or if you do engage with it, you're going to pretty quickly see that it's a thing. But it's going to. This being here, the acorn, if for some reason they miss the acorn, they're going to be going towards this. They see this first. They're going to attack that. This down here, does that move the little spinny thing?
It
The
rotates,
training?
yes.
So it rotates, but it doesn't move. I guess the last thing I would do is I would just go place this in the door here, reset it where Silgath had left.
Okay.
Take this table, flip it over, show it up over here, and then Warwick himself is planning on, after I check my character sheet, it doesn't. Okay, 5 foot. Okay.
Hi, baby.
Let's get our milk.
Go get your milk, baby. Can I say goodnight? Oh, you're all moisturized.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a good bath?
Yeah, short. You don't want to short bath today.
That's okay.
You played the water a lot downstairs, though.
Good job, baby. Are you waving? Yeah.
Wait.
Good job, honey. Hey,
What?
have a good night, okay? Mesmerized by the computer.
Okay.
What is this?
I love you.
Give kisses. Give kisses.
Mwah. Mwah.
There we go.
Thank you
Good
very
job.
much, baby.
All right, come on.
Grab your milk and go into your
Into
room.
your room.
Love you guys. Love you, mama.
Love you.
All right.
Last important thing. What would he do? Yeah, that's what he's going to do. All right. So bear recorded that at the bottom, just in case. And Warwick is going to go into this corner and kind of tuck behind that little palisade that's sideways and the acorn.
Make a
Oh, he's big.
make a stealth check.
Okay. What's a stealth? -8. Oh, +3. Shit. Very bad.
Well, yeah, he's a barbarian fighter, so he doesn't wear any plate armor.
Oh, fuck yeah. He's sneaky as fuck. 19.
You successfully somehow you pull some hide over or something like that. You are almost completely behind the top of this turned over thing, this TP that you've created. Yeah, I will gladly allow that in 30 seconds. That was not a lot of stuff that you did. That's good.
Yeah. Didn't want to get too crazy with it, and then he'll just pull out his bone cleaver and just set it. He's just waiting.
All right, Warwick, as you are heading over from behind here through this window, you can see people starting to congregate around the tree. And it's at this point that you start to watch Eric cast the spell. So you see him out the window, and this is all kind of happening at the same time. He is preparing his casting focus. He's putting his hands on the tree. You can see the sky starting to darken up above. You can see people starting to get really close into the tree, but it hasn't happened quite yet. So they're preparing for it. And as you're watching this, you kind of are snapped back into the reality of the situation as you hear a small click. You don't really hear footsteps outside, but you hear the doorknob on the other side start to click, and you feel more light open up and kind of hit the wall behind your head. And you have not seen these yet, personally, Warwick, but you as a player have. This boy is going to start walking in.
Dude, I did not think it was going to be these same poor fucks.
How bad?
So he is going to walk in. I'm going to just so you guys know what I'm doing. So I'm going to try and be as fair about this as possible. I'm going to roll perception to see if he notices the acorn. Is what I'm doing right now. And of course, the stat block that I had dropped. Hold on one second.
Did he interact with the tree of all seasons
It's
and get a nature-based?
funny. It's funny you're doing this, Michael Barlos, because I have a secondary plan in case that goes poorly. And it's gonna be funny.
I'm glad that we. Obviously, I would love for everybody to play anytime they're available, but I love sessions like this because this is like really specialized, and I am glad to be doing things that both of you really like to do that are kind of more niche that don't work in full sessions. So this is great. Like I would never have taken. Well, maybe I would, but not often. 5 minutes to be like, you have 30 seconds to set up this room by yourself with no other characters involved. Let's see. Okay, perception is +0, so he's gonna roll a straight 20.
Hell yeah.
Best roll I've had in 3 weeks, guys. So he is going to cross the threshold, and he's gonna stop. He'll look down. I'll see the acorn down on the ground, and you'll see him kind of lean his little axe, or like pole arm, whatever it is, in the doorway, Warwick. He does not notice you, but he does kind of crouch down. Like you hear his gears kind of crunching, and the metal of his body creaking against itself. And he crouches down to see the acorn, and he is going to, because he has a -4 intelligence, pick it up in his hand. He's just going to pick up the acorn in his hand and look at it. And he's going to switch it over to his left hand, grab his pole arm in his right hand, and he's going to continue into the room.
That's great. I love that for him. Can I tell that he picked it up, or is it just all based off sound?
I would say with a 19 stealth, you are pretty well tucked back there, so you do not see it. No.
Okay.
That is not unlike human children I've seen at the zoo, just like collecting acorns for whatever reason.
Yeah, yeah. So he is walking in, and as he kind of gets in, oh, I should probably turn the grid back on. I'll turn the grid back on.
Like the automaton with herbalism kit. I
He
can
gets in
grind this.
here, and did you put a spear through this dummy?
No, I thought about it and did not.
He'll walk over and kind of examine the dummy, and he'll walk along the rope here and look into the sparring pit. And he is still facing down this way, so he does not see you work.
Man. Part of me
He's going
almost wants to just see what he does. Like, I
to
wanna-
walk over here.
Yeah.
He's going to, with his pole arm, just start spinning this dummy. Just spinning it around. And that'll take up, does that, maybe 30, 45 seconds. Just stands here and spins this dummy.
Can I just like at that point just like push him into it when it's spinning?
Yeah, make another stealth check to approach him.
Just because I really want to push that acorn into something. So use it stealth.
Yeah.
Can you hear the 490-pound dragonborn?
You don't breathe, so
I don't breathe. Yep.
That's
That
true.
helps.
You have that going for you.
Hey. Yeah,
Warwick, you get about right here, and he will stop spinning it, and he turns around. So the moment you get like right there, he will turn around, and you will see him. A piece comes off of his head, like he has this. He has what kind of looks like a hat on. I don't know if I ever showed this to you guys last week.
well, you did. You enlarged it and you scared the shit out of everyone by making it look like it was 20.
There's a little.
like an ocular piece.
Yeah, there's an ocular piece on the top of his little tin top hat, and that's going to open up, and a little tiny. You'll see a little, like, I don't know, a nozzle maybe it looks like, and the loudest, most piercing sound, like a foghorn sound, or not a foghorn, like an air horn. That's what I meant. Is going to come out of this hat.
Oh yeah.
And from behind you, Warwick, you are going to notice two other figures immediately run in. Another one of these guys. And then directly behind him, one of the larger guys. And I need you to roll initiative, Warwick.
Well, it's Warwick's initiative +3. He has a lot of +3s. Yeah. Bought a little bit of time. Sweet 8.
Nice. We have two of these are straight rolls. They don't have any.
Do I at least get enough time to shove him, or did he detect me because I'm loud and big before those boys came in?
What? Sorry, I didn't hear exactly what you said. That's my bad.
Did I at least get enough time to get closer to him or to shove him before his siren went off? Or was it pretty much like immediate and then those guys came in immediately?
I will give you one turn of movement and a non-attack action. Well, you have your sword out. I'll give you a movement and an action before they
Okay.
come in.
Yeah, just because I said it, is just gonna
Use your ability check. Add a D4.
what?
Your guy.
Oh, yeah, I do have a. If I can imagine an ability check to use.
Oh shit. Nah, I don't know. I wonder if the stealth check would have made a difference.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Not the first one, which would it would have been. Yeah, just going off of what I initially said. If I click the right stuff, I'm gonna move towards here, and then I'm just gonna clap this claptrap into the swinging machine and hope that the acorn goes off.
What's the best way to do? Roll any die. Top 50%, it hits the acorn. Below 50%, it misses the acorn and it falls on the floor.
Top 50%. D100.
Yeah, so like if you roll it, yeah, great.
62. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you shove him and his hand with the acorn in it happens to come in contact with one of these bars on this thing that is still spinning, and it goes off. The acorn goes off. What is the?
It's not. It's literally useless, Michael Barlos. It's like not useless, but it's very very small. DC 10 Dex save, or take 1d8 bludgeoning.
Let's see what he does. What is his dex? His dex is only +1, so there is a chance.
There's a chance.
he he rolled a 5. Okay, so that's a fail. Yeah, so he's gonna take. Okay.
1d8. Take that.
All right, go for it. Roll for damage.
1d8. 4 damage average.
Nice. That's not bad at all.
Level 14 combat, baby.
Was it all you hoped it would be?
That was everything.
Yeah, great. So this guy up here, he is at the top of the round. He is going to vault over this. You'll see him jump over using extra movement, of course. And he will make it just to here. And he's going to swing on you, Warwick.
Yeah.
He's going to make a weapon attack. That's going to be a 16 to hit.
Just misses.
Okay. I'll try one more time. That's going to miss because that was a 3. So that's an 8 to hit. That's going to miss. He is going to... You're going to see his axe. He has this big, broad axe. As a bonus action, he is going to click a part of the shaft of the axe, and the axe head is actually going to start lighting up. So it's going to heat up. And it is your turn, Warwick. Wait, no, it's not. I hadn't. We're just going to use this for now because I forgot to use descending order. We'll go through one turn and then we'll swap it out.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, what are you doing, Warwick?
So, double checking. It's funny because I can see the character sheet, but I can't click anything on it. But I'll take notes because I don't think I'm going to go through everything.
If you go to the tithes, like the campaign, you can claim him.
Maybe I'm not sure about that.
I'm gonna beat you there. I'm I'm just kidding.
I want Warwick. Give me him. He's so thick. Let's see. Ties campaign.
You should be listed under unassigned characters underneath the party. You
Yeah.
should be able to claim him.
I
Got
sure
a little
can.
flag there. Then once you claim him, it
Nice.
should allow
I can
you
do-
to. Yep, there you go. Now you should be able to change everything, do health, everything like that.
Man, now I'm forever thick boy Warwick. It's all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, so Warwick is going to quote unquote rage, right? But
Yes.
we were talking. His rage is different.
Mhm.
So
What do you think
let
that
me-
looks like based on what we were talking about? I'll kind of give you some creative freedom here. He's
Yeah.
more of a blank slate still.
So as I on the spot improv his rage, he'll just take his bone cleaver and he's gonna level it across his arm and then face the guy that is approaching behind him. How does he invoke it? He would maybe do a quick chant of sorts, I guess. Not quite a prayer, but just like almost like a what is it called? An offering, I guess. Yeah, an offering. He would just say, "Brothers and sisters, I need your strength. Show them the power of union." And then he is going to just be emboldened now. I don't necessarily know if that would be. I mean, he's a big guy, right? So I figure this is more of like a. Not only that, but he has a belt that makes him stronger, almost like a supernatural. And he's a dampier. He has just even more supernatural strength. I don't know where it comes from. We'll say that his.
The way that I thought about it was like
starts pumping again.
like grit and will. Like it just improves his combat reflex to the point that he attacks with greater precision when he does this. So it deals more damage. So he's still strong. Like he's obviously strong and he's a good fighter, but he now like almost like without controlling his strikes all the way, he hits the more poignant spots in the body.
I got it. At the very end of that chant, there's like a kind of a mist that starts to appear. And then he has a big inhale, and then he takes that mist in, right? And that's the wisdom of the ancients. Yeah. Right.
One thing that I did think about him, because he does have a tattoo that's specific, a magical tattoo that's specific for him. If you saw that,
I did see.
Those tattoos are all over his body, and if you just see him on a normal day, they just look like raised. Like if you on your tattoos, you see like where the needle was, it's raised because it's a scar. It just looks like raised designs on his body. But when he rages, we'll say. Also, I love that description, by the way. When he inhales that mist and kind of brings in that power of his ancestors, all of those tattoos that were invisible, that were just raised before, start to glow bright blue. So he's like bioluminescent vampire dragon.
He's just flowing with energy, which in turn activates the magical ink, right?
Yeah, but I mean, technically he can use that at any time. It just starts to glow here.
Yeah, it just looks cosmetically, it's glowing, like it looks cool. Yeah. All that being said, these fuckers are doomed. So I'm gonna reckless attack the guy that just came through the door. Great weapon master, reckless. So I have a -5. This is where the hurt begins. Actually, I'll do the first boy first, the guy who I blew up the acorn hand on.
Okay.
So I will take an attack. Now I'm only I'm only getting a +5 because Great Weapon Master because I can't help myself, Mike Barlos.
That's I hope that you would take Warwick and push him to the extent of his abilities.
Yep. Okay, so okay. So I get advantage because I did reckless. They also, for your reference, they have advantage on attacks against me moving forward. First one was shit. Second one was shit. So the first attack misses at advantage, which is very unfortunate.
Man.
Yeah. Second attack, reckless.
Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, 20 hit.
Yeah, 20 definitely hits.
Okay. I am just double checking what this sword says. Is that accurate? When you attack an object with this sword, maximize weapon damage dice.
When you attack an object, so not a creature. So that's like a structure or a
Okay, so these do not count.
non-organic. These do not count as objects for the purpose that they are construct creatures.
Okay, but they're on a thin veil, which is why I asked.
Yeah, I totally get that, and I would have asked the same question. Yeah, these are sentient, quote unquote, living creatures.
Okay,
They can
so
discern for themselves. So
I mean, you can
So
object
these are-
whatever you want. You could be a dick about it, but
this is more akin to like theft per se, right? As opposed to
Yeah.
like a golem. Okay.
correct.
All right. So either way, 2d6 plus 5 plus rage damage. I don't know what level he is, +2. Okay, so we have 2d6 plus 17.
Let's see it.
Gotta love it. 28.
Woo! Yeah. How do you want to do this?
We'll do the bludgeoning end. It's just like, there's this small little tiny robot. His homeboy just ran up behind Boric, and he's gonna make example of the puny one, right? The small guy.
Mm.
So, and also to stop the thing from just screaming because it's currently just like wee 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 wee.
That is
Right.
true. It's still going. Yeah.
He just wants it to stop, so he'll just kind of flip. After he misses once, I imagine he just like accidentally cleaves into the target, like the little spinny.
Yeah, we'll say
Just out
that.
of force of habit, just like, yeah, I meant to do that. And then he'll just flip it around and then just club just straight down and just make a little pancake look. And then it stops screaming. Hopefully.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just immediately goes silent, and you smash right through its torso, and it just crumples down to the ground, lifeless. He is gone. At this point, this guy is just he doesn't have enough movement to get around to you, so he's just gonna run up to see what he can see. He's gonna get up to here. And at this point, I am going to correct the order.
Yeah. What is one less to worry about? Ugh.
And we're going to move outside of the barracks for a second, back with Silgath and Eric. Silgath has just said, now we're going to go help Warwick. And that is when you hear the siren of that construct. And Silgath is going to look at you for just a split second and start sprinting towards the barracks.
I was gonna say, can we like roll initiative to see who sprints first?
So Gath is faster.
So Silgath 100% is going to be faster. But yeah, we can definitely do that.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll initiative, Eric.
For the battle ensuing, anyway. Jumped out of the tray. Okay.
Just to show up Silgath, like Eric teleports inside, like uses a high level spell.
Oh, that's
I
true.
got the
Still got
prayers.
like Nightcrawler inside, yeah.
Yeah.
So I rolled 15 initiative.
I'm
He
glad
rolled
to
a
see.
20. I'm
Glad
so
to see
happy
you
that
roll terrible.
this, I know. Like there have been some bad rolls, but largely pretty good. So I'm happy about that. So the only reason Silgath is not just poofing inside is because he doesn't want to leave you out here by yourself, Eric. But he is going to start sprinting first before you, and he will get to this door and realize that there's a bunch of shit that that Warwick put back up against the door, and he will call out to you, and he won't call out to you. He'll kind of put a finger up to his mouth, and he'll say that he can hear commotion inside. That we should go around the outside, around the building. So he is going to. We'll actually head back here now. I don't know why I even did that. Let's see. Player characters. Eric.
Above game, I was wondering about the green orb while we were evacuating people. Because
Yeah, it is. It is still there. It is definitely still up there.
I'm really hoping that it wasn't like a camera view through the portal into the cemetery. So I still think the location would
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. 15 plus 2. 17.
Based on what you heard in the conversation before, and just your previous thoughts about it, you would kind of glean that it is not clairvoyant. It's not an arcane eye spell like you checked for before. It is just a beacon. So you can rest assured that it was not
That's
spying
right, yeah.
in on where you sent them.
Strands, something along that. Okay.
Yes.
Solid. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to add you both into the initiative order. So Gath was a 20. Eric, you were a 15. All right. Starting from the new top of the round, Silgath is going to head out around this way, and you will see him, Eric, as he's passing you. His eyes are going to glow. His eyes are glowing, and you see him. It almost transforms, kind of under his skin. His bone, very similar to how Grim transformed in the Lost Mines campaign. You can see kind of the bone structure underneath his skin shift a little bit, and you see giant claws come out of his hands, and he's gonna start heading up along this side of the building. That brings us to this construct. He's real angry. That brings us back to this construct. It's gonna walk right up to the back of you, Warwick, and start swinging. Start swinging again. At advantage, yeah, you're right. Ooh, that first roll was a 7. The second roll was a natural 20.
How does it make you feel that I'm raging and it's half damage, so it's just a regular hit?
Damn it. I mean, less than a regular hit because any modifiers aren't doubled, right? You just double the dice.
Technically, through law of math, which unfortunately Aaron is not here because I don't know how to do math.
So he's going to, let's see, he's going to try and bonk you with his halberd. That is going to be 1d10 plus 2. And that's a 9, so that's going to be 11 damage. Doubled to 22. Down to 11.
Nice.
You take 11 slashing damage, Warwick.
Barely notices it. He's just so invigorated by his
Eric.
ancestors.
Okay, Eric is actually also going to grow claws. No, I'm just kidding. He's going to grow.
I mean, you could, right? Do you have primal savagery?
Well, I have Primal Beast.
Oh.
The spell's called Guardian of Nature.
Oh, yeah.
I used it to become a great tree when
I remember that.
the major illusion happened back at the Capitol.
Right. Yeah.
Ceremony for the king. So yeah, I'm gonna do what he did. I'm gonna Teen Wolf it up. Yeah, like Sogath just has like a basketball. He just deflates. Like, what the fuck? That's a reference I don't get. And same thing pretty much with Eric. This costs a bonus action, so I still have an action, which is nice. And just a verbal component to I howl, maybe, to
Okay. Yeah.
you want me to read the benefits? Do that real quick. There's 4 benefits. So strength-based attack rolls with advantage. Melee weapon attacks deal extra d6 force damage on a hit. Dark vision with range 120 feet and walking speed increased by 10 feet. So that'll help us get into the place faster.
Nice.
This will last for a minute and put me in concentration. And
Okay.
he's headed seemingly to the door up and around, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what you would be able to glean, yes.
Okay. Then I'll do like the Luigi stare as I pass Silgath. My eyes are not glowing like him. Like in Mario Kart when Luigi just fucking wants you to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as far as like dashing, it says my movement speed increased by 10. Does that mean that it's 30 plus 10 doubled, or is it 30 doubled plus 10?
Your
Say your
it
base
would
speed.
it would be your base movement speed, yeah. So if you dash
Mm-hmm.
while you're doing this, it would be 40 twice.
Okay, so I did 80 to get to her, the top there.
All right. This construct is going to swipe at you one more time, Warwick.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think that one's going to hit. One of his rolls was an 8, but the one at advantage was a 17. What is his plus 5? So 22?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right, and that is going to be 11 plus 5, 16 damage.
Have to
16 slashing damage, sorry. Oh, that's halved, so 8 slashing damage.
Yep. Got it.
And he
little more
is done.
flavor.
Oh, his axe was lit up too. That's going to be an additional halved 2 fire damage.
The fire damage is not halved, I believe, unless he's has the thing. He just
Then
has
4.
Yeah.
Gotcha. 4 fire damage.
All good.
All right,
That's the
Warwick.
secret of barbarians.
Right.
Do element damage to them unless they're of the bear. Warwick, realizing how squishy the little guys are, is going to go reckless again on the little guy to the left of him. And I think with this is like, he was engaging with the person that he just slayed, and then while he was turned away, the other two, just basically like stabbed him in the back, right? Which is like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then he just like turns around. He's just dragging his cleaver, his bone cleaver, and he's just going back around for just like a big swing up at this poor little guy.
Poor guy.
Here, just
almost coming.
just trying to overpower it than anything else, right? Like it's like, okay, if I go center a mass, like unless it's really really quick, it's gonna get hit, and if it gets hit with at least like a quarter of this force, it's gonna get crushed into oblivion.
Right.
So that being said, let's see what my dice decide. Great Weapon Master, Reckless. Oh, that's good starting off. So 23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits almost twice.
Poor guy. 28 again. Same roll as before.
Great.
Damage.
Yeah, that's a big hit. As you cleave through him, is that bludgeoning or slashing?
I would say this one. Let's see, back down. He would flip the grip to the sharp side and then swing it up, back, and around. So it's slashing in this one.
So this one cuts deep into the abdomen, and Warwick, the character, is learning this now for the first time, that it is an empty cavity in there. There's nothing inside of the chest cavity here. He cleaves right through it, and with 28 damage, he's like leaning over like this, just barely holding on to his halberd at this point.
Yep.
Any movement or bonus actions?
That was first attack.
Oh, perfect.
So he would swing around, cleave up, and then I think realizing he's pretty weak, he would just quickly spin back around and just trying to hit kind of low leg, like a leg sweep underneath. So another attack and advantage. Oh, natural 20. Oh no. Oh. This poor fuck.
Fucking do it.
This poor guy.
You can do it. Cut his freaking head off.
29.
Yeah, you just. I mean, he's obliterated at this point. How do you want to do it?
Basically, yeah, take that big cut across initially, and then the second sweep will come back down, and then just lop the legs off of this thing, so it just goes flops on the ground.
Yep.
That being said, and I always forget to use this with Great Weapon Master, and ironically, I rolled a natural 20 as well. So, with the feat, I will just double check this because I get it wrong all the time.
You get extra.
Yeah, if you score a critical hit or reduce, well, no. So if you do get that, this is the thing that always gets forgotten on Great Weapon Master because I forget it all the time.
Oh, when you reduce a creature to 0.
Yeah, when you choose it to 0, or you get a critical hit, you can use a bonus action to make another attack.
Do it. Do it.
So yeah, and his whirlwind work is just gonna keep carrying that strike through over to big boy at advantage. 18 to hit.
18 hits. Yep.
Nice. $25 damage.
Nice. He is going to attempt to parry.
Okay.
He's going to make an acrobatics check versus what you rolled to attack, which was 18, right?
Yeah, he has a good chance.
Let's see. And that is a 20 plus what? Plus 2. Yeah, he'll take full damage for sure.
Okay. I don't know how that one works, like the creature parry works. So
It's
like,
just
I don't know.
it reduces. It's like having resistance. It just reduces the damage by half.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So
Nice
25.
and simple.
And then I don't know. I don't know if work would be. No, he'd be focused. I think because if he's raging and he's channeling like that focus, right? I don't think he's like making small talk.
Probably not. Maybe
Yeah,
though. With his personality, maybe.
that's why I was questioning it. Is because maybe he'd be like, I don't think he would say anything like derogatory or anything like necessarily
Definitely
mean
not.
per
But
se.
he might say something in jest.
Yeah. God. Yeah. I don't know. So end of turn. That's everything.
Okay. All right. Silgath is going to see that Eric, you are running up there. He is going to dash as well. So he'll use his movement up here. And then come up here with his dash. And he'll see that there are no foreseeable threats up around the door. And you will see him disappear, Eric. He's going to bonus action teleport. And Warwick, you will see your friend and leader teleport right into the center of this ring right here. And he'll just give you a nod, and you will, for the first time in maybe years, maybe, I don't know, maybe close to a decade, you see Silgath's claws all the way out. Did he go down easy for you?
Yeah. It took him a little bit longer than normal for me, but still not. We do listen out for milk. I'm gonna go run out to my car because I left everything in my car.
Yeah, I have him right here. Love you. Who's next? Eric.
Unfortunately, no teleport ability for Eric. Fastest way in would just be the front door. 40 feet there. Guess I gotta use my action to keep moving. I am probably entering the door and noticing the differences in the room. That the prep work that Warwick made. But I am gonna just come in and from memory serving, grab a weapon off the rack. So I'm using.
Okay.
I'm dashing. Partial movement at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the one thing he'd be proficient most at with is the javelins.
Fuck yeah, Eric.
How many do you suppose?
On a whim, since you dashed as well, as a bonus action, I would let you just grab one real quick.
Okay.
But if you want to come back later, you can.
Sure.
I mean,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
they're there, so you can just stand there and keep grabbing them. Honestly.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Grabbing one javelin. The rest of my movement I still have. Unfortunately, ran out of actions and bonus actions. Will approach
Okay.
with the rest of my movement and end my turn.
At this point, you well, it's not the bottom of the round yet. We'll wait. The construct is still focused on work, but now it's seeing that there are more creatures encroaching on its position. So it is going to try and swing around and make an attack on Eric. And that's going to be a natural 1. So he's going to swing. Eric, why don't you, on a natural 1, roll an athletics check, Eric.
Can I bring up a narrative thing too, DM? So for ancestral protectors, while I'm raging, the first creature that work would hit has disadvantage, which obviously in this case doesn't really make much of a difference, right?
Right.
Has disadvantage on an attack that isn't against work. So whatever Eric wants to do with his role, I like to think there is a spiritual addition to that.
Okay. Yeah, he already rolled a natural 1, so I'll give you advantage on your athletics check, Eric. In wake of that.
Beautiful.
That's even better than what I was hoping for. I just wanted like a cool word picture.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna want to spend my D12.
Okay. Okay.
With advantage?
Yeah, dude. Advantage went lower than my first roll
Oh no.
by 1. But anyway, so
What was your roll before the
got
D12?
7, and then the advantage roll was a 6,
Okay.
and
So
then
7 plus a D12.
my D12 is
Hit.
8.
Oh, not bad. 15. Okay. So yeah, with a
Minus 2.
with a
My athletics is minus
Oh
2.
no.
But I'm checking real quick because
13. So with the 13, you still succeed, but you meet the DC instead of exceeding it.
okay.
So you're going to just stop the attack. He's gonna swing at you, and you're gonna stop it. And you can make an attack with the butt end of that javelin if you'd like, as a reaction.
Yeah.
Poke him with the flat bit, but not the pointy bit.
Okay.
Just,
Well, I imagine he's like this,
Or, like,
and then
straight
he
across.
just like, yeah, cuts across with the back end of it.
It's a little.
Letting out a little mammal musk as I'm working up a sweat in my bestial spirit. So there's like a nice aroma in this sweaty gym barracks. It's not uncommon to this room. Let me add my javelin so I can. Sheet. Fuck did it go? Sorry, guys. 1 second.
You're good. Are you just looking for the stats for a javelin?
Basically, yeah, I'm just adding it to. Okay, there we go. Okay.
So you're gonna see it. It only has the thrown property, but you can still use it as a 1d6 weapon. It'll just be bludgeoning damage instead of piercing.
Am I rolling to hit?
Yep, roll to hit and then roll damage if you hit.
All right. No. Did you say advantage? Oh, actually, is it a strength based?
No, you had advantage on your athletics check to parry his attack,
Mm-hmm.
but this one is just rolling to attack like normal.
Okay, but strength based attack rolls with my bestial spirit are at advantage. So is that applying here?
Yeah, that's a strength based. Anything that you would roll as a weapon attack would be strength
Yeah, it's
based.
got to be because it's showing me a -2. So yeah, 5. What does that mean? Minus? What is what? I'm
I
proficient
like-
in javelin. I don't know why this isn't just straightforward. Oh, there it is.
Are you?
It's showing me now. Okay.
Yeah.
So 8 to hit. Shit.
That's not gonna hit. It's not all of that. Yeah, that's not gonna hit. But you don't get hit by his attack, so that's all right. Warwick, we're at the bottom of the round with you. You've already done all the work. May as well continue to do it, right?
So how concerning is it that I almost called him Gael? Silgath has his claws out.
Make a history check.
Oy! Not tough. +1. Okay, that's not bad. Could be a 0 or a negative modifier. How's 14?
It is relatively concerning. There are very few times in your lifetime that you have seen Silgath choose to go violence forward, and be committing that violence with his thirst-driven fangs or claws. So that is concerning to you, yes. But also in a strange way, it is a bit comforting to know that because Silgath is a very powerful person. So if things are really bad, if Silgath has resorted to this, you have a really strong ally on your side.
Yeah.
So you're torn, a little alarmed, but also you're like, all right, let's go.
Do I know, and this is again, we were talking about the Dampier lineages and the natural weapons and the thirst, right? Do I know if it's something that, if you use, in this case, if Silgath were to use his claws in this case, if that triggers that urge, or if just having them out is enough to kind of start drawing on that temptation?
You would, from your experience, when you became a Dampier experiencing this, you would know that if he was using those claws against something organic, like a creature that was not made of metal, he would definitely have to make that sanity check. You would also know that, I mean, this is strictly speaking in mechanical terms, but whatever the translation to the game world would be, he makes all of those checks at advantage. So he has less, he succumbs to that hunger much less frequently than anybody else. So you're pretty certain that he will be okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that being the case, he feels confident in Silgath having those out, and he will not interfere with that. So he's just gonna bonk this construct. After all that said, there was gonna be a bro moment if that wasn't the case. Okay, yeah. You know it, you love it. Great Weapon Master, just gonna clear the room. And for the first time Eric is going to see the 490-pound Dampier Dragonborn just take the blunt end of his weapon and just attempt to make this metal man into a paste. 18 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
I almost rolled a 1d20 for my damage.
Yeah, it's going to be 45
Yeah.
bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, 25 on this one. Second attack,
Nice.
dirty 20.
Yeah, that hits. Do it, man.
Smoosh, 25.
Nice.
More damagios.
Similarly to the other constructs, you are now cleaving big tears in this guy's abdomen. The metal is ripping off from itself. There are little shards of metal falling off as you're cleaving into his body. And he is kind of bending down in the ways towards the direction of the cuts. So he does not feel good. We're back at the top of the round. After that happens, you all hear a very distinctive thud outside this bottom door down here. And a big pounding on this door. Like the table moves back a couple feet. The door gets hit.
Woohoo!
And it's Silgath's go. You were going to see Silgath as you've never seen him before, Warwick, and Eric, I guess too. But Warwick, you've known him for a long time. He's going to step over just a little bit, so he doesn't catch Eric in this line of sight. But it's going to look like he's almost winding up, kind of like a pitcher winds up to throw a baseball, and you're going to see him flash out of sight for a second and reappear on this guy. Just, and he's going to roll to attack. Yes, Silgath, natural 20. Finally, I've got my mojo back. He's going to take this construct with him. And they're both going to travel down here. The construct is prone, and Silgath's claws are just stuck into the torso of this guy. And he's now holding him down onto the ground. He is going to deal... not bad. 12 piercing damage. Both Silgath and the construct are prone, and the construct is restrained. Eric.
All right. Back at it.
I can't hear you, Brad.
I didn't mute.
I hear you.
Oh, there you go.
I got you.
Oh,
I
back
can hear
at
you.
it.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know. But Eric's gonna take the javelin he's still holding, turn it around, face the pointy end towards the bigger construct guy. And I'm assuming it's like an advantage when he's prone. Attack here.
It's the opposite.
It is the opposite because the javelin is a thrown weapon.
Oh,
Well, I
I
guess
can't just use the
you can
javelin
poke with
like
it,
a
right?
spear.
I mean, technically, no, but a javelin is so much like a spear. I'll let you do that.
I thought you could. Man,
A javelin is only thrown. It only has the thrown property.
really?
Yeah.
That's why Leander was just throwing javelins.
Yeah, I'll let you make a spear attack. That's fine.
I was like, I went to the weapon rack and I chose what I was proficient in.
Oh yeah, that's totally
technically,
fine.
would it be?
You do have so since he is thrown and restrained,
We can make it thrown if it follows the condition that it's still considered a melee weapon attack. But it would be
yeah,
ranged.
I'm just gonna give you a melee attack, especially because you're right there. So because he is restrained, you would get advantage, but because Silgath is on top of him, you would get disadvantage. So I'm gonna have you roll straight.
Okay.
Dude, I never knew that about javelins.
Well, it's weird because like right under, I have proficient, yes, and then it says attack type melee. Properties all the way at the bottom says thrown.
Yeah, no, it's legit. I never knew that about javelins.
Yeah, just a ranged attack, which is weird.
Right.
So why does it say melee attack type?
Maybe it's a. Oh, maybe the difference is it's a thrown melee weapon. Like it counts as a melee attack, but it's thrown. It
You
doesn't
can
count as a ranged attack.
almost like a
Can I-
finesse property where you can use strength.
Yeah,
Can
That's
I
right.
stand back where I was
bet-
and just throw it?
I
then?
bet the difference is it is a strength-based
Hmm.
ranged attack. That's
and
why.
usually they're decks.
I bet that's why. Which would make sense why it's showing you your strength modifier on an attack. So okay,
Yep.
that's probably that's got to be it.
And
That's
I'm
gotta
gonna
be
do one more thing too, and just throw it from where I am, because that won't make a
Okay.
difference in the roll or anything. But now we don't have to like break the rule of thrown property. And I roll like shit. So 7 to hit. Fails.
You are going to throw it, and it will hit Silgath with a 7. It's going to hit Silgath right in the.
Okay.
And he is going to howl out, and look over at you, and his eyes are still like completely blue white. Right,
Wait,
there
I
are
have
no
advantage,
pupils in
hold
his
on.
eyes. You
I
don't
have
have advantage because he's on top of the
Oh,
creature.
But just from
The
my
straight
bestial
roll.
spirit, though.
I
Okay.
Strength-based attack rolls are made with advantage. With you guys hear me?
Yeah.
With the
So
That's-
this is my thing because
no,
I
I'll go
agree
with the
with
ruling.
you.
I get it because he's on top.
Because advantage and disadvantage can't stack. So it's like if you have advantage, if we went with that rule, I would also have to be like, oh yeah, if you have an advantage and you have your bestial spirit too, then you have super advantage. Yeah, so I would say it would still be a
Gotcha.
flat roll.
Okay,
What's up, Warwick?
so
so let's roll for damage.
Orc, as an ancestral guardian, as a reaction, can activate his spirit shield. It says if you are raging and another creature you can see takes damage, you can use your reaction to reduce the damage by 2d6. So I
Nice.
would
Roll for damage.
reduce that javelin damage. I don't know what the javelin damage was, but
Well,
It's 1d6, so the chances are high that you cancel it.
and unfortunately, with my spirit, when can I drop my concentration? When I know that I've hit Silgath?
oh fuck.
Because there's an extra d6 of force damage from my spirit, so I want to just not do that force damage.
Does the wording say you can add or you can choose to add with
Now,
that
let's see.
spirit? Just depends on the wording.
It's my 4th level spell.
It's only a 4, Barlow, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
keep Silgath from tearing out Eric's throat. And
No, it just says
Right.
it just says it deals an extra force damage on hit.
So yeah, so that is.
But can I drop the concentration?
Let's see.
not that quickly.
I can't do that between rolling to hit and
Sure.
deciding how much damage. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Let's see. Oh, it doesn't discern. It doesn't tell you when you can drop it. That's so weird.
And I would have only had 2 turns, so there's still 48 seconds or so.
Yeah, there's no discernment even in like the comments from official D&D Beyond people. There's no mention of concentration other than the C check that it requires it. I'm gonna say that you cannot drop concentration that quickly because it's like a transformation.
Yeah. Okay, so it's gonna be
under a 4.
3 piercing.
Okay.
Roll 1.
And
Coward.
a 1 for force damage. 1 for force. 3 piercing, 1 for force against Silgath.
So yeah, I will retcon that. It does not pierce Silgath's leg. Warwick sees it all happening in his heightened state of awareness and pushes out a spirit shield and it just deflects the javelin off to the side. The javelin is sitting right over here right now. What a wild
Turn of
4
events.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
The construct for its turn, it's going to attempt to break this grapple or break the restraint.
Just the rest of my movement, I'm going to go back to the weapon rack. End of my turn. Okay.
Ooh, that's going to be tough for Silgath to beat, unfortunately. Is with his modifier a 22. Silgath rolled a 4. So the construct is going to push Silgath off of him over this way. And the claws will come out, which will deal an extra 3 slashing damage or piercing damage. And he will use the rest of his movement to get up. And it is your turn, Warwick.
I would so desperately. I don't think Warwick would do this, but like Billy, what all Billy wants to do is just to beat this robot with another robot. But Warwick would not do that. So he's going to.
No. Teth would do it.
Yeah, Teth would do it. It would just, because for Teth, it's just like cold calculation, right? It's just like opportunity, just like grab and then smash and like move and rip and punch.
Yeah, Warwick is way more like Way of Water. He's like, I will flow through this battle.
Yep. Just cleaving and moving and flipping. So there's pounding at the front door.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking at our poor baby, our baby boy Vern. Look at that here. So concerned. Our fake Vern.
Dummy Vern.
Vern, no! And Warwick doesn't say that. He's gonna move straight line towards a bigger construct and just knowing there's something bigger coming, just take a regular whack. Plus, this guy looks a little bit forgot to ask this earlier. This guy looks a little bit more armored, better armored than the little guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he'll just take a little bit of a regular smack, a little smackaroony. Plus he's, pretty hurt thus far. So dirty 20 to hit.
That hits.
Oh wow, max damage. 19.
Yeah. Yeah. You just he's done. How are you gonna do this one? 3 kills for Warwick.
Yeah, Warwick is on a fucking rampage. Yeah, like you said, I think you mentioned the tattoo and then like the ancestral spirits. Just kind of, he was just like kind of riding and flowing. So there's a brief moment where it was interrupted because Silgath like just dove bomb this guy. I was just like, oh Jesus, right? And then he had to kind of reassess and then kind of tune back in.
Mhm.
Then with him kind of shoving Silgath off, he'll take that moment where there's a gap where Silgath is getting shoved away, right? And as he's getting repositioned, Warp will take that moment to go above Silgath and then just go back over and through,
Yeah.
home. Seeing that opportunity, that brief moment
Nice.
to strike.
Yeah, he is gone.
And then we'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We'll go run till the running's done. And then go ahead and use a second wind. 1d10 plus 6, and that's the end of my turn.
All right. Top of the round here. Warwick, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Hell yeah. Do I see it coming?
Very little notice. So I would say yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You're still
It's for,
10 plus feet away, so.
yeah, it's for, God, what is it called? Primal Awareness? I can't remember what it's called. It's an advantage on dex saves that you can see without being blind. Definitely kind of see. Okay. The advantage dex plus 3. Oh God, good thing I had advantage.
Oof. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, with 19, all 3 of you, even from the opposite side of this room, however long it is, Eric, the sound alone gets your attention immediately. Yeah, this thing is thrown over here. This table is shot back here, and the door bursts open, and we see these big old boys hopping through.
Fuck yeah.
He's right there in the doorway, and he actually stops. He stops moving in the doorway, and you hear from outside of the doorway before this other creature enters that same gravelly voice that you heard before, Warwick. As you know, the smoke is clearing, the debris is everywhere. This door was destroyed, right? Splinters of wood go everywhere, and through the debris, you hear, "Where is Wellerby?" And you see this other creature walk through and take a place in front of this giant construct.
Oh, there he is.
And with him, he has what looks to be a small beast of some sort, a hellhound of some sort. on a tether that's just made of shadows. It's holding this little beast down there. And that's where we're going to stop the session for tonight.
I don't know who you're looking for, brother. He ain't here.
Can you say where's the beef with that?
Me and
single word?
Bone Cleaver.
Where's the beef? Yeah.
My guess is no one's fooled by the dummy. The constructs didn't even see it in the bed.
Well, I think if Warwick had rolled better on his stealth, or not tried to come up behind him, they probably would have inspected it. But like once they're built to,
You're Warwick, you gotta attack. Yeah.
right.
Well, so like it was like a good half a minute or 45 seconds where it was like, okay, like they're trying to evacuate people. Maybe I can move now, right?
Yeah.
And then I just rolled like a fucking ass. So,
Oh, bye, Brad.
I'm excited to smoke that construct next week in our normal campaign. There it is. Or not a normal campaign. Our other crew.
Yeah, because you're going to be playing Teth next week, coming up against the same type of guy, and I'm interested now. Like I'm excited now because we ended it really in the same spot before you saw it fight. So I'm glad that we didn't get quite to it both times. So next week, everybody, even Trent will be back. Although Trent is going to have a whole different thing. I'm excited about next week. It's going to be a whole time for everybody.
Can we have, since we ended at the same spot with like the same creature and almost similar combat, can we have a dual combat? Same initiative, just dueling it out at the exact same time.
Well, this is happening later than the other combat, though. Like thinking of timeline wise, that first the combat with the other half of the party is what Silgath showed to you guys when he was manipulating all the objects.
True.
So at this point,
it's been a couple minutes.
My idea is at this point, people are coming, like running back into the city to help you guys. So we'll finish up the rest of that combat next week,
reform the
like
party
first, and then we'll swap back over to this, and then you'll regain control of Teth, and I'll take over as Warwick. Man, go ahead. Sorry.
I was saying work is fun. It's been a while since I played a barbarian, but they are very easy and very brutal.
Yeah. That's what I wanted for him. I didn't want him to necessarily be angry like we talked about, but I needed him to just have raw power.
Yeah. There was a point where I thought about using the bone cleaver to like smash through a wall and to like hit somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the whole construct, and if it's like okay, like, or not construct,
object.
It's like, man, like as these guys are getting ready to breach the door, can I like wait until they start to unlock it or start to break it, and then just hit the fucking door and just break the door in and just blow them back? But
I would probably allow that. I would allow that under rule of cool, because that would be super cool. Like that'd be a really cool breach tactic, especially if you had better. He doesn't have terrible stealth.
No, dude. Yeah, I rolled like a super high, and I was like, "Hey, I stealth in a corner. I'm 450 pounds. 490. That's a cannon. 490 pounds. I don't know how tall he is.
I think that makes sense. I mean, he's pretty tall. He's
fair.
comparable to Teth. He's wider than Teth.
He reminds me. There was a master sergeant when I was in the Marine Corps, and he was a pretty tall guy. He was like 6'4". This is an infantry battalion, right? So it's a bunch of meatheads. Shit, you not. I've never seen somebody as wide as they are, like thick. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like, but his like chest, like his chest came out to like here, and he was also this wide. He was just like a fucking barrel.
That's
I
how
don't get it.
Warwick is. He's just
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
in there, man. He digs into the fight.
Yeah. Just
Um,
so much man, so much Dragonborn man.
yeah, I'm thinking next week because Dez met up with the other party. We learned that Flynn was with Dez, but he's coming from the northeast. He's coming from where the tower was. And
Yeah.
then, well, I won't spoil that part. There's a third part that's coming from a different direction that will hopefully be fun and surprising. And then now, I didn't expect Vern to not be here next week, which I love that choice. That was
Yeah.
the last thing that I thought you would do, transport him away via plants. A very
Great.
cool choice. I love that. But there's going to be a whole narrative section that's just going to be Vern. Essentially, next week should have been the session that I, when I was sick 2 weeks ago, that I had to miss.
Dude, I desperately want to see Vern and Bell interact.
Yeah, it
Just like, oh,
should it should happen next week.
you're awake, and then just like drops him or something. I don't know,
Right.
like, just like pats him up. I don't know what the fuck she's gonna do. That's why I love Bell, because it's like just really, really awkward and like.
Yeah. I
don't
feel
know
like I need to rethink Gale's stuff because a lot of what I thought would be Gale's characteristics, I ended up just doing naturally for like they felt natural
Yeah.
to do as Belle. So now I'm like, I don't want to do two artificers that are exactly the same person.
It's similar, but it's more like militaristic or calculated, like in the sense of
Yeah.
like there's a routine, right?
I mean, it is very, with Gale, it is very clockwork centered. So it's like keeping things done on time, making sure that the hypotheses and scientific theories in my brain are able to be replicated the exact same way every single time. And Bell is more like, I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks, and whatever happens, happens.
Like
She's a more organic, experimental tinkerer, whereas Gale is like, I know how to build this exactly, and I'm going to make 1,000 copies of it exactly the same way.
Yeah. I'm gonna make 16,000 short swords with the exact same length and height and width and sharpness within grain of edge. I don't know.
Yeah. It's all going to be identical.
Yep.
All right, guys. That was a fun session. I was interested to see how a 2-player session would go, but I had a lot of fun. That was cool. Hopefully, you guys got to do some stuff that wouldn't normally happen in a full session.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Thanks, guys. It was cool.
Also, great job narrating your spell, Eric. I thought you did a great job.
I'm glad it actually like just came to me.
What Michael Barlas doesn't tell you is if you don't narrate the spell well enough, you can't cast it. Like it just
Yeah. No, I'm not that ruthless. I will encourage you to stop and try again if you say that you can't do it. No, I don't really know how to. No, it's your character. You know exactly how they use your magic.
Yeah,
Just tell me what it looks like. You can figure it out.
As long as it's not dry humping.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to hop off. Awesome session. I will see you next week.
All right, guys.
Bye. See ya.
Night.